Hi guys, today I'm going to show you what to do with your Phalaenopsis Orchid after flowering and how to repot them. So stay tuned. So what you're going to need for this project are some pots, some growing media, sterilization tools and a scissor. Well, because my secateurs have gone missing, so I'm going to use a scissor. So the first thing we're going to do, because the one is planted in pine bark, which is the same as this, and the other one is in sphagnum moss, we're going to start with the one in bark. So basically all you want to do is take out your plant from the growing media, and I did repot it, and I did water this earlier, and we're going to take off these canes and stakes. And because this plant has been in this media for quite some time, it is starting to break it down a bit and become acidic. So I'm going to remove all of the media from between the roots, making a mess as I go along. And like the roots are actually in quite good condition, which will be great because it will mean that the shock after replanting won't be as big. And so basically now you're going to take your scissors or your cutting instruments, sterilize them with some alcohol, and just basically look for any dry or dead roots. Now you can see there's a plug inside of here, which was obviously how the plant was as a seedling. Now I'm going to try and remove that. I think this was in cocoa peat or something. And again, use your scissor and cut any of these interior roots. So now you can see I actually have quite a decent root system. And the next thing is obviously going to be these canes. Now because this plant had 3 canes, right? Like 3 flower canes, it's an enormous amount of energy that's been taken up. So I'm not even gonna look for a node for this to flower again. I'm just gonna take them off at the base. Oops, there goes my pot. It's about leaving like 1 inch from the plant, that's fine. And this one has dried off completely. So there we go. So this is what you're going to be left with. Just remove all this dead media and canes and stuff to the side. So I'm going to plant this one in a terracotta pot. This is a little orchid pot that you can get at any nursery. And basically start with filling it up with medium-sized bark. Now, you position your plant into the pot, but you can see the root ball is quite big. So I'm going to take out some of this bark again. There you see. Now, because this plant has a strong root system, all I'm going to do is just put in some bark, just tease them in between the roots of the plant. So gradually fill it up. I love using a terracotta pots for my orchids because it has an evaporating cooling system basically, because the clay pot takes away excess moisture from the roots. And I'm sure, like I've told you a few times before, orchids really thrive on oxygen around the roots and having air around the roots and not being in compressed media. I'm going to put a link up above to a more detailed Phalaenopsis care video I did some time ago. If you want to have some more details about how to care specifically for your Phalaenopsis orchid. Just a few more pieces here and there. And you must try not to compact it too much and like break the roots, because a good root system on an orchid is golden, because it means that the plant would take less time to establish themselves again and like flower again. So there we go, our first little orchid's finished. Now this one is one that I bought from Woolworths, and it's like a lovely, you can see it still has flowers on it. It's like a lovely like pink center. And Woolworths Phalaenopsis are really like the most like premium on that market in South Africa, I'd say. And they always take their plant with such care so that you can have these flower spikes for as long as possible. Now, this plant has also been in flower for quite some time. And I know some of you will probably disagree with me on this, but just look at that wonderful little stake. This plant has been in flower a long time, but I am going to cut these like flower spikes off just to save the plant, like so you can recuperate some energy. I did see up here there is a live bud over there, so if I cut the flower spike over there, a new spike would like grow from there. But I want this plant to conserve some energy, because I can see that how the roots have shriveled somewhat, and I would rather save the plant than save the flower spike. So let's see what we have in here. So you can see like the roots aren't as like great as that one was. Just going to take all this away, because what sphagnum moss does after a while is it also becomes acidic. It's a very popular mixture to use for orchids, and specifically for Phalaenopsis orchids. But my problem with it has always been is that it keeps moisture for far too long. So there's no way really to tell what the moisture level is at the center of the plant. Okay, so let's quickly look at these roots. So you can see it's actually just a mess. These roots are just a mess. Okay. So again, we're going to use a little scissor and just basically cut all these dead roots off, and then you'll see the plant doesn't have that great a root system, which is why I wanted to cut off that like flower spike, even though it still had beautiful flowers. But this plant is going to need all the energy it really has to put together a decent root system. Let's see what we're left with. There's all these like papery there's another dead one there. So this is basically what we're left with. Just remove as many of the old media as possible. And there's still some dead roots over here. You'll notice that I did not sterilize my scissors in between these two plants. That's really because I'm not really that stressed with my Phalaenopsis orchids, because they're so, if that's the one it dies or something, it's quite easy to replace it. On my more specialized orchids, I'm more concerned about spreading diseases between plants. So again, we have a mass of media, and let's go that way. And I'm thinking this one, I was going to plant it in the plastic pot, but now that I've seen what this looks like, this pot is going to be too big, because what you're going to have is you're going to have this plant in there with not a decent root system. In media, it's going to be too wet for too long. So I'll use the smaller one. And now we're really going to have to get some nice smaller chunks of bark in here at the bottom especially. And as long as the roots can just have something to anchor onto as they grow, it should be fine. This plant also has some sunburn on the leaves. You can pack it in as tight as you can because of the roots not being there, so it is going to have to need some support. Because the last thing that you want with the orchid that you've repotted is it to be loose in the media, because then it will shift as you move it, and then the plant will never really be able to attach to the media. It's kind of like a marathon runner running with the shoes that don't fit properly. And there we go. This plant is nicely and snug in the media, so I'm hoping now it will send down a decent root system. Now I am gonna just later on put some cinnamon on these cuts there, just to seal them, so that no bacterial infections can set in. And yeah, so these are two little Phalaenopsis plants that are now neatly repotted.